Alright, now we're going to install the buttstock. And first we've got to take the takedown pin. And this piece has to be facing the rear. So we're going to go in the rear hole here. Push that in. Now I'm going to get my detent pin.
Yep, your rear detent pin.
My rear detent pin is going to go in this hole.
Which they're both the same, so it doesn't matter.
And the little pointy end faces out, right?
Yeah, it's kind of both the same on both sides. The pointy end needs to go. Pointy end kind of needs to go towards the inside.
And now, instead of putting the spring in, we're going to go ahead and get our buttstock. We're going to install the Black Widow end plate. Let me put it on there correctly. Just like that. And now we're going to screw it in. And this is the Ergo F93 buttstock. I think I went too far.
Yeah, I think you went too far too.
So let me back it up one.
Back it up a little. You got to get that plunger and that spring in there.
Okay, so I'm going to go here. Now I'm going to put my spring in, right?
Yeah, but you need to put your plunger spring that holds your buffer right here in the front.
Here?
Yeah. So
okay. That's this big spring?
That's that big spring and that plunger right there.
Okay. This?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And put this. Oh, that's where my.
Hey,
there's the missing detent.
There's the missing detent. Hold on, I'm going to get that out. There we go. It was stuck up in there. So there's your detent back.
There you go.
All right. So, and if you'll get the light right there.
Put the spring in first.
Spring in first.
Yep. Then put the plunger on top of the spring.
The hollow end goes over the spring.
And now you're going to just push that down with your finger as you screw the buttstock, the butt tube, or the buttstock tube. Yeah, the butt tube. Yeah.
The butt tube.
Yeah.
What are we at, the proctologist?
Yeah. You might have to unscrew the
a little bit
tube just a little bit. There you go.
There we go. Okay, so I'm going to hold this.
And then screw that in so it captures that and hold it down.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Okay. So now I need to get the other spring, right?
And now we've got to try to get that little spring, the little detent springs kind of in there. And if you want me to give a whirl at it, I can sure do it probably.
I'm going to do this, man.
Oh, you're going to do it? All right.
If I can find the spring.
Right. It's right there.
Okay, got it. All right. Bear with us. All right, here we go. So, I've got...
Now remember, if you try to turn that that buffer tube assembly and you loosen it up at all, it's going to shoot that plunger straight out.
Okay, so I've got my finger on it.
Okay.
I'm guarding that because I am going to have to turn this ever so. I'm going to go right with it.
Okay.
And then that's got to go in there.
And you got to seat it down in there.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get this around. Now I'm going to seat it.
Careful you don't launch it out. Just like that.
Kind of like that?
Yeah. There it is on the floor. We found it. It's right there.
Oh, there it is.
When you've lost so many of these things like I have, you tend to have good eyes.
Good spot, good spot.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get this past this. Would a tool work here?
It will, but I mean, like a small punch would help, but you're going to have to move it out of the way as soon as you get that turned around. So.
And the spring has sprung.
This one's going to be a bear.
It's in there now.
No, it's not.
Oh, is it?
It's kinked up the side.
And I bent it.
That's all right. We can fix that.
All right, I'm going to defer. I'm deferring to the expert. This is why we have an expert with us.
All right.
So I jacked that up. So we'll let the master artisan here fix that.
All right.
So I've deferred to the expert. He's fixed our spring by replacing it with another one. And he's getting it in there. Need a punch. And our
all right, folks, we're back. We had to get off camera there for a minute. We had a little bit of an issue here. We had a hard time getting the detent spring because there was very little room for this castle nut to travel on this tube here. So basically, we got it worked out. We used a feeler gauge and we got the plate up in there and the springs in there. It's all in there right. So we're going to go ahead and tighten up this castle nut up against this end plate, so we get it so it does not move. And we see that our pin here and detent is in there correctly, so we know we got it. Now we're going to take and we're going to straighten up this tube, and we're going to attempt to tighten this guy down. This is where I like using the 3-prong castle nut wrench, because I can get on all 3 notches, and I'm going to tighten that down and try to hold the tube as straight as you can, because sometimes it will turn just a little tiny bit. Alright, so just give some good pressure down there like that. Alright, good and tight. Now what a lot of manufacturers do, like Colt, Daniel Defense, and different big manufacturers like that, is they'll end up staking this right here. That's what these little notches are on that castle nut. And we can go ahead and do that. By staking it, what we're going to do is take material from this end plate, and we're just going to mar it and squish it into those little tiny stake points right there. What that's going to do is keep that castle nut from ever loosening up. Alright, because you can see that if this castle nut ever loosens up and the tube backs out, you'll have some catastrophic stuff going on in here, because you'll lose this plunger down here on the inside, your buffer will stick out, you're going to be locked up, and it just won't run. So we'll probably go ahead and stake those, you know, to make sure that doesn't move at all. Alright, but now we've got our butt stock, or at least our buffer tube, assembled on the back of the receiver, and our complete receiver is just about done. We just got to put the buffer tube and spring back in here, and put the extra part of the actual buttstock on the tube, and we'll be done. We've got to put one more pin here in the front, and there's a little trick there, and we're going to show you that here in just a second. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and put the front takedown pin in. Alright, this one's a little tricky too. I got a little trick to do this really easy. Now this is your front takedown pin. Alright, I happen to have an extra one. Alright, and if you can find one of these, buy an extra kit, a parts kit. If you're building several of these or a couple of these or whatever, borrow your buddies if you can, whatever. Alright, I'm going to use the same pin, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put the spring in first. Then I'm going to take the detent on a small pair of pliers with a punch. You got to be real slow and careful. Line that up. Push that all the way in and hold it in there with that punch. Now I'm going to take that extra takedown pin that I had. I'm going to rotate it around so the groove is toward the front. Alright, I don't want that pin to catch in there. I want to put it in from the reverse side, and now I've captured my pin. See how that works? Now I'm going to take my actual takedown pin, alright, because it has to come from this side, and I'm going to put the groove the correct side towards the back. I'm going to line it up with this right here, and voila, she's in, just like that. That's a trick I learned a long time ago. It keeps me from losing detent pins and getting all crazy. It saves me a lot of headaches and a lot of time. I know it made it look easy, and it really is.
Alright guys, so now we're going to put the buffer tube assembly in. Got the spring and the buffer tube assembly. What we did though first is we sprayed it down with a little silicone grease, and what that's going to do is help cut down on the noise reduction. So you hear, you know, when you shoot an AR before, you've heard that sproing.
Yeah.
So unless you like that noise, this is definitely going to help reduce that. So we're just going to shove this in there like so.
Keep it going until you get past that plunger.
And voila.
And voila.
We're done.
Our lower is complete.